Real Country 1430 AM and 1073 FM WRDN. I'm Brian Winnikins, and joining us this morning is Steve Schlangen. He is chairman of the AMPI Board of Directors. And today we're going to talk about the formation of a common marketing agency with First District Association today. And thank you to our Newsmaker interview sponsors, including Wisconsin Farmers Union, A&J Agronomy, Synergy Co-op, and Osteoplastics. And Steve, thank you for joining us. Well, first, what is a jointly owned common marketing agency for those that are not familiar with the term?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Brian. This common marketing agency is actually a cooperative that is formed to allow two co-ops to be members of it, to be able to work together to get a better return for their producers. It's something that's been in existence and legal to do since for over 100 years. And it's allowed through the Capper-Volstead Act now. And it's something that hasn't been used a lot in the dairy sector. It has been used by other commodity groups, including in the sugar sector and even in the genetics, the worldwide sires. So it has been used before. It does work. It's just a way for you keep your ownership and independence as cooperatives, but you can also work together to get more benefits for your members, be a better supplier for your customers. And with the world growing and our customer base growing around the country and around the world, this will allow us to supply our customers everywhere with more of the products that they're looking for.
So in a way, it's a merger, but really not a merger in a way, because the ownership's going to stay separate, but it's kind of like a merger where we're kind of putting stuff together to work together.
Well, you kind of get the benefits of maybe a merger without having to, merge everyone's assets and everyone's equity together. And in this case, it's a bit unusual in that both of our co-ops are financially strong. We're really actually as efficient as we've ever been and in very good shape. And normally these things happen when people are kind of forced to do them because of those reasons. So I think it's more forward looking in that we want to be viable going forward. We want to be a player, and working together, we're going to be a major player in the U.S. Dairy market, especially making cheese.
Talking with Steve Schlangen. He is the chairman of the board of directors for AMPI. Talking about the formation of a common marketing agency with First District Association. So, Steve, I guess for those here in Western Wisconsin and in portions of Minnesota that may not be familiar with First District Association, can you tell us a little bage about them?
Well, they're a co-op a lot like AMPI, except that they only have one manufacturing plant. It's in Litchfield, Minnesota, and it's grown quite a bit over the years. And they're right in the middle of an expansion right now that'll bring their production from 5 million pounds of milk a day up to 7.5 million pounds of milk a day by next summer sometime. And they produce barrel cheese, and the new plant will give them the option to produce 40-pound block cheese. They also have quite a bit of whey drying capacity. They have capacity to dry lactose, and they have other capacity to dry some other products if you want to dry that isn't being utilized right now that could be a benefit to this cooperative that we formed. So between them and us, if you look at the footprint of our producers and of our plants, we really are spread out pretty nicely to be able to get all of our milk to where, with swaps and different things, to get it to where we need it to be most efficiently. And then just be able to have the product portfolio going forward to supply our customers with whatever they need, and we have customers across the world already, and it just keeps to be getting more demanding on all the different products they need. And I think this cooperative will help us supply them for that.
Talking with Steve Schlangen this morning with AMPI, talking about the formation of a common marketing agency with First District Association. So, Steve, one of the things you mentioned about was the different products and all that. So, how will what First District does, how is that going to marry in nicely to what AMPI does?
Well, they produce, we produce some barrels and they produce barrels, but they also have the ability to produce blocks now, or they will with the new plants. So depending on the markets, we can shift production in our plants to produce what is going to be the best return for our members. But along with that, on the whey processing side, I think there's a huge opportunity for us to get more out of our whey proteins than what we are right now. And if we can work together to do that, that will be a benefit for our members.
Will this also help to potentially move some AMPI product, specifically the butter, because that's a pretty big component as well? So is that going to also help with the First District Association to maybe get butter out to them and those folks?
Well, we did have our first meeting today of the CMA, and we organized and elected officers, and we talked that we passed the bylaws and different things to make it legal to get it off the ground and started. And one of the things they asked about was some of the products that we produce, if they would have access to them for their membership, because they really don't have any packaging capacity of any kind, and we have that for a number of products, including butter. And we definitely would do whatever we could to work with them to get their membership have the availability of products just like our membership does, with the products that we produce, and with the customers that we work with that maybe could package some products for us and for them. No matter what we do, we're going to be a bigger player and have a better chance of getting a better deal on someone doing services for us because of that volume.
Talking with Steve Schlangen this morning with the AMPI Board of Directors, again, talking about the common marketing agency that's being formed with First District Association. So, Steve, now, like with the milk part of it, will this allow then, okay, the plant at First District, their plant, oh, we're running a little high. Can you take some of our milk? Or maybe there's a plant, a Minnesota plant, and from AMPI, we're running too high. Can you take some of our milk? Will you be able to do that too?
Well, we've actually been doing that already, and we do that with other co-ops also. But this would probably make it more of a priority for working together between the two of us. And absolutely, people run into issues with their plants, and First District only has one plant. So for them, it's a bit risky, because if that plant goes down, they're at the mercy of everybody else. So I think if we can work together, we can use and utilize that milk in our plants if needed. But I think just to be able to rely on each other for helping each other through situations, I think that's a big part of this.
And Steve, you had your first meeting today on the 24th. So is everything all been approved and we're moving forward now, or will there be like a certain date where this will, quote, officially start, unquote?
Well, the paperwork was filed already last week, I think. So it's officially in the books, and it's registered with the state of Minnesota, and it's officially underway. So it's just a matter of time now. And we just met for a short time today because it was a Zoom meeting, and we'd like to meet in person, but we could have probably talked for a couple hours about the different things that we could possibly do together that would benefit our producers.
Finally, Steve, will the marketing agency, will the common marketing agency have its own separate name? And if so, what, or not?
Yes, it actually does. It's called American Dairy Cooperative. So it sounds pretty simple, but if you think about it, with the global economy, having the word American in there is huge, because there's a lot of people around the world that really think that is something that's high quality, and that's something that they could trust.
That's Steve Schlangen. He is the chairman of the board with AMPI. It's the American Dairy Cooperative. It's a common marketing agency between AMPI and First District Association. You're listening to the WRDN Morning Farm Report.